Welcome back to It Resolves, where we play a new deck every single day. Today's deck is Temur Elves. What is going on, everybody? And yes, you heard it correct. We are playing a Temur Elves deck today. This deck is absolutely stupid. It's not that good. I'm just gonna go ahead and say, obviously elves are not overly supported in standard, at least at the moment. Maybe we'll get somewhere with Brothers War, but at the moment, we really don't have a ton of support. However, I actually saw a deck by Hello Good Game, completely different style deck, utilized like the white color pie, did a lot of different stuff. I kind of tried to focus it in and be solely green, splashing a little bit of blue and red just for some utility and some better ideas here that, not better ideas, ideas that I think are a little bit easier to include. That's all I would say. Not saying it's better than Hello Good Games deck at all. I don't think it is. But the idea was basically cram as many elves in as you can. And then find some ways to kind of build some utility off of that, and what do we do with it? So first and foremost, one of the most important cards in this deck, I cannot stress this enough, Leaf Crowned Visionary. This is one of the few elf support cards, I guess, that we've really got in Dominaria, which is other elves you control get +1/+1. Whenever you cast an elf spell, this is the big one, you can pay a green, and if you do, you actually draw a card. So the idea is that this provides us with that card draw mechanic that we wouldn't always get in a normal elves deck, so I'm really stoked to see that. We do have a lot of ramp in the way of Loam Speaker. We've got the Gala Greeters here. And I included the Deathbloom Gardener here, not only for the ramp, but I know it's a three mana 1/1, doesn't seem that great. It's also late in the mana ramp kind of department, but it is a Death Toucher. And I think that will stave off at least some attacks, or at least eat a removal spell so we can kind of continue on. So I'm hoping that that works out okay. As far as the blue splash, we do have the Hydromancer here, which when it enters the battlefield, if it was kicked, you create a token copy of another creature you control. Ideally being something like Leaf Crowned Visionary here, of course, which can bolster up our spells, and then hopefully again we can kind of escalate that card draw. We do have the red splash for the partners here, so this is going to start throwing some counters around. Between this and the Gala Greeters counters, we can actually get some things pretty big, which is kind of nice, and then give them trample with Elegant Entourage, which whenever another creature enters the battlefield under your control, target creature other than the entourage gets +1/+1 and gains trample. That's the crucial part here. We needed a way to poke through as much damage as we can. This is the way to do it. We do have the Socialite as well as the Stalker here as well. Both of which do get a little bit bigger every time you play creatures, which is nice. It's obviously temporary, but again, it helps us to finish the game quite quickly. And then sitting at the top end, we have that Storm the Festival play. This is the big one. This is the one we want to get down as quickly as we can. This deck really only works if you've got all of these creatures out, so we may not get a single win today, but you know what? We are gonna have a blast playing this one. I think it's gonna be a really fun deck. Hopefully we can get one win, but truthfully, I'm not holding my breath. I've played one game, I did get a win with it. Not expecting that to be the norm, but it's a fun deck, guys, and sometimes you just need to play a fun deck, and I think that's what we're gonna do today. So let's go ahead and jump into game one. Let's see how it goes. All right, guys, and here we are for game number one. This is actually a very, very solid start, so we will absolutely keep this. We do have the Leaf Crown Visionary. We've got a turn 1 play, turn 3, and turn 4, so this is basically perfect. Assuming the opponent has absolutely no removal, will be great. Seeing as they are a black deck, chances are they're gonna have removal. I'm actually gonna go Gala Greeters here. May seem a little bit odd, but I do anticipate them having like a cut down here, and so I'd rather them cut down, as much as I like the Gala Greeters, rather them cut down the Gala Greeters than I would the Leaf Crowned Visionary, given that is our big card draw push. But we do get a little extra damage, and again, the Stalker is kind of nice about getting that early chip damage, which is really helpful, of course. So, what is the best play here? Let's go here. I'm anticipating them not blocking. Okay, they will. Kind of interesting, because I thought they might want to use that to kill the Leaf Crown Visionary. This means they probably have a removal spell, which is okay, honestly. I'd rather them get rid of this now than something else. So, and what we could do next turn is drop that Gardener excuse me, and then actually draw a card off of this as well. So let's go ahead and do that. This is such a silly deck. Like I said, guys, it's not a good deck. We're just here to have some fun today. Obviously not going to attack with the Visionary. There's absolutely no reason to. The problem that this deck has is there's not like good turn 1 mana rampers or anything like that. And obviously that's kind of a big need when it comes to an elf deck. And so, you know, it is what it is, but I still think there's something here at least that could be fun. Let's do this and we'll go ahead and draw another card. Okay, the partners is not bad actually. That's pretty solid. I'm okay with that. And the 5/5 is actually something for them to consider, right? Like it's not just an easy kill. If they have an Infernal Grasp, they'll probably need to use it on the Entourage. I mean, a 4 mana 5/5 that also gives +1/+1 and trample to other things is pretty good. I think we block here. I'm anticipating they have like a play with fire or something along those lines, but the reality is I can't allow that to... Okay, well, fair enough. Very nice. All right, so let's go here first. We do get to rebuild quite quickly here, which is nice. We have to pay a life to do it, but I will take that. Let's throw a 1/1 counter here and then throw a couple more on it, and we can get the attack in. I think that's probably the best bet. It gets it out of cut down range in particular, which I think is important. And the partners is really good against Tenacious Underdog. I was actually playing against somebody and they literally just attacked into it with like not one that they had blitzed out from the graveyard. Like it was just a straight up and wasn't really a great play in my opinion, but they do get to draw a card here since that one was blitzed, which is perfectly fine. But we do have quite a lot of pressure on the field and they've only got a couple mana here. So they may start popping blood tokens just to see if they can get to something, which is probably what they're gonna have to do. Yeah. And there we go, guys. This is what we wanted. Let's go ahead and storm the festival. Let's remember that this does give haste to something. So if we get another creature, we might be able to just win this turn. Oh, beautiful. All right. We'll put a 1/1 counter. We will gain some life. We'll put a 1/1 counter, and there we go. We got the win. I can't believe we won a game, honestly. Awesome. That was exactly what we wanted. If we don't win another game, I will be perfectly happy. I do have a quick Patreon ad for you guys. I'm actually kind of stoked about it because I tried a little harder on this one, so enjoy the ad, and then we'll jump into game 2. What's up, guys? Before we jump into the next game, I just want to remind you that we send out altars every single month to participating Patreon members. Now, please don't feel pressured, of course, but if you are interested in supporting the channel and picking up some awesome altars every single month, you can check out all the details over on our Patreon page at patreon.com/itresolves. This month, to honor some of the most impactful lands we have ever seen in Magic, we have got the Urza Legendary Land Cycle, including Serra's Sanctum, Tolarian Academy, Phyrexian Tower, and Gaia's Cradle. If you're interested in picking these up, they will be available through the month of November and will be sent to you at the end of the month. As always, guys, we really appreciate the support and thank you so much for watching the videos. I hope you all enjoy the gameplay. All right, guys, here we are for game number 2. And again, this is a pretty reasonable hand. It's a little bit more awkward, I will say. Just given that we have 2 2-drops and then we don't really have a good, wow, we have 3 2-drops and then we don't have a 3-drop. However, these Gallagreeters should be able to give us a little bit of mana here. Kind of curious to see what we're up against. Teachings of Kieran. Interesting. Okay. Whoops. Well, let's definitely just go for the Gallagreeters first here. We do have Storm the Festivals to get to, so I think the game plan is going to be to go kind of all in and get as many of these little tapped treasure tokens as we can, so then theoretically we can rebuild after they most likely sweep or do something along those lines. Looks like they have lens flares here, so that's also a nice one. Yeah, I think we can do this. So let's go ahead and create that tapped treasure token. I will not attack. And at the very least, this does give us a blocker for one of these guys here, which I think is better than just throwing out the other Gallagreeters. But we'll see. We will see. Ooh, okay, that's scary. That's very scary. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if we draw an untapped land, we actually can just storm. Yeah, that's terrifying, actually. Okay. Well, we did not, unfortunately, draw a land. Let's do this. We'll create a tap treasure token. And I think it really isn't gonna matter because of this being what it is. Let's go ahead and just leaf crown visionary then. Not very exciting, I know, but it's something. Let's go here. Okay. And let's basically just hope they can't straight like kill us with Devilish Valet this turn. That's kind of the biggest hope, I feel like. I think this sets up okay, assuming they can't kill us with the Valet, which is really the, like, if they can kill us with that, there's not a lot we're gonna be able to do about it. We're just gonna have to kind of take it. But, like, it's not the end of the world. If they attack here, we definitely block. This is an interesting counter on target creature you control. Oh, okay. So they're gonna put a counter here, perhaps? That's actually kind of okay, because we do just get the double block opportunity, which I will 100% take. So they're gonna kill one of the Gallagreators, which is perfectly fine. Nope, they're gonna kill more than one. Okay, well, still really important that we double blocked here because we needed to save as much damage as possible and get that thing off the field. So we actually would have died had we not done that. We're probably still gonna die. Realistically, I don't know that there's a lot we can do, but at the very least, this was kind of a fun one. I think we just storm the festival. There's not a lot we're gonna be able to do against this board. They have gone so wide at this point. But you know what? This is a fun one. This was a silly one, and that's fine. We throw it here, but it doesn't matter. I'll go ahead and good game them. Unfortunately, they just have us here, guys. So let's go ahead. Let's move into a game 3. All right, guys, here we are for game number 3. And yeah, I mean, we can keep this. Assuming the Gallagreator sticks or we draw an extra land, either of those two options are perfectly fine because we will be able to get some treasure tokens out of this. Worth noting, obviously, those treasure tokens don't stick around, so we do need to get some more lands at some point, but this really does kind of help us out. And then, of course, that Visionary. I feel like almost every time that you've got a couple lands and a Visionary in hand, you probably ought to keep, just from the standpoint of you could probably draw some more cards. Okay, land, there we go. I am gonna go Gallagreators first because mana is so important in this deck, and we also have a partners in hand. So it is worth noting that we'll probably wanna get that down so we can start bolstering up our board a little bit. All right, sure. Let's do this. Let's just go Leaf Crowned Visionary for now. We'll create that tapped treasure token and we will pass. So they're obviously going to get an attack in with the Adeline. One thing this deck just has absolutely none of, if you didn't notice, is removal. So somebody in the comments section, I am very sure, will point that out. You're right, it has no removal. You know, Elves is a pretty all-in strategy. I'm just going with it. It's fine. I will attempt to block here. Honestly, this isn't the kind of deck that I think you need a lot of removal in. Terrible. I do think it's the kind of deck that you probably should have like some amount of, some amount of like protection in, if that makes sense. So I think that would be more beneficial than anything, but it is what it is. What do we need to go for here? So we can do this. Yeah, I'm gonna go here. Actually gonna decline to draw a card, and then I'm gonna go here. Autopay. So this is gonna get us another treasure token, which we'll use for the partners at some point, but this also gives us that 4/3 blocker, so we can block the Adeline if need be. If they just have more of these little guys, like these little massive mites and cards like that are just kind of silly to me, but it's fine. That's terrifying. Yeah. Ooh, that's terrifying. Okay, cool. That's such a good card. Jeez, okay. Yeah. I feel like... What is the goal here? I feel like we need to just kind of get max power on the field. I'm gonna auto pay just to draw and hope to get something. We did not. I'm gonna grab a token and we're gonna pass. We are pretty dead. The fact that they have just a giant 9/9 is pretty difficult to for us to deal with. Worth noting though, they don't have tramples, so we can start throwing these little guys at them if need be. But we are gonna have to chump block here, regardless of what happens, which just kind of sucks. And if they have a fight spell, that's really gonna suck. We'll see. They could also use the Catilda if they want. So what they could do is obviously pull the trigger on this. Yeah, they're gonna fight off. That's fine. I say fine. That sucks. But it is what it is. Yeah, that's terrifying. What do we do? Yeah. Okay, I honestly think this might just have to be the play. We still die, actually. Nope, that sucks. Well, that's fine. All right, cool. We lost. Fair enough. I don't think we had a chance on that one, so that's cool. We got time for one more, guys. Let's go ahead and go for a game number 4. All right, everybody. Here we are for our last game, most likely. This is an awkward hand. From the perspective of we are going to have to take some damage, but I don't think it's worth going down any further on that. So we will go for it. Yep. If we draw a basic forest, I feel like that's like best possible scenario. This is probably also going to be a very similar deck to the one that we were just up against, which kind of sucks. Yeah, I think we go for it, honestly. As much as this hurts, I just think it's the right call. This is gonna get some damage in unless they just have a, you know, kill spell or whatever it could be, that's fine. But we are gonna get some damage in, which is helpful. And now we do set up for the Visionary, which is just nice. Okay, cool. I'm assuming they're just gonna take Storm the Festival. It could just be the Hydromancer, but I don't really know. We'll see. Also, why? Okay. Yep, Elvish Hydromancer, sure. That is perfectly fine. No attacks. Hopefully they don't have another Peacekeeper. It's a bit of an annoying card, for sure. Ooh, very nice. All right, King Darren is sick, yeah. No blocks, you got it. Yep. That's actually somewhat interesting. I mean, I think we just go for the biggest play we can at the moment, which is obviously the Entourage. Yep. And no attacks, naturally. Yeah, I mean, we'll see. I don't feel great about this, but they do have a 5/5 to contend with. And yes, this is a very similar deck to the one we were just up against. They didn't attack though, which is interesting because that does probably mean they don't have the, whatchamacallit. I'm gonna draw a card here. That's why I'm playing the other Entourage. Yep. Still no good. I mean, we can attack here, I guess. We'll see if they want to block. Obviously, I doubt it, but we'll try. All right, cool. At least we got some damage in and evened up the life total playing field. Their creatures are obviously much scarier. Wow, and a mirror box play. Very cool. So they can attack with Adeline and get 5 damage in if they want, but they do have to be careful about our crackback here. Interesting. I feel like they wouldn't do this unless they had like a kill spell, right? Six. So now they definitely have to have something here. I'm gonna go here actually. This is a much this is the conservative line, I feel like, where if they have a massive might or something along those lines, we're at least gonna get something out of the way. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Let's storm the festival. See what we get. Give me something good. Okay. Sure. We'll take these 2. That's not that bad, actually. I'm gonna just gain the 2, I think. Yeah. It's fun. We just get to back and forth a little bit here. Do we attack with the 6/6? I think we do. I don't think this is a great idea, but we have to keep pressuring them and make them consider the crackback. Like if they don't have anything, this is a pretty safe play. Just from the perspective of we can chump block if we need to and still deal 7 damage at some points. So we just have to not take 8 is the takeaway. Okay, well, that changes the math. Yep. That's so good. And annoying. Okay. Yeah, I mean, there's... So we like literally have to do this. Yep. That's so frustrating. All right, yeah, you got it. That Peacekeeper is also annoying. Yeah, I mean, they just have us, right? Like, they're going to be able to gain some life. I'm going to go ahead and concede. They've got us. All right. You know what? That's okay, though. We put up a fight-ish. Let's go ahead and wrap this one up, guys. All right, everybody. So, Temur Elves, what do we think? Not great, obviously. You know, truthfully, though, I did not expect any wins, and we got one. So, I'm pretty happy with that, surprisingly. I think every once in a while, and you guys know that if you've watched the channel for any amount of time, you know that every once in a while, I just like to build a silly deck and see if it works. And sometimes it does, sometimes it doesn't. Generally, you can get a deck to work every once in a while, though, and I'm glad we at least got to see it do its thing one time. I think in the other games, it definitely just got outclassed, and I think generally speaking, that will probably be the case the majority of the time. But it's still a really fun list to try out, and I think, you know, part of the fun of Magic, in my opinion, aside from just playing the game and collecting the game and that kind of stuff, is truly exploring things that may not necessarily be very good, but that you might learn something along the way. And to me, my takeaway is a lot of these little elf cards that didn't seem all that, you know, they seem fairly innocuous, aren't actually that bad. Like, the Entourage did quite a bit of work that time in a number of those games and was able to hold off some attacks, which I'm not saying it's a great card, don't get me wrong, but it did help out quite a bit. And of course, my biggest takeaway is that Visionary is amazing. I love that card. Now, I think obviously in like a historic Elves build, it is much, much stronger, clearly, but I do think even here, we were able to draw a couple cards off of it, and even if you only draw one card off of it, it replaces itself. And I feel like that's enough to make it worth it, even in a standard build. And so for me, this was just a fun little, you know, thought experiment, kind of gameplay experiment, and it worked okay. It's not great, it's not a good deck, but if you want to try something fun, if you just want to try something different, go for an Elf Tribal deck, man. It's pretty fun, I'm not gonna lie. There are other versions of this build. Obviously, like I said, Hello Good Game did kind of a Naya build, which looked really, really solid. I think that's probably the better way to go, truthfully. But I would suggest taking a look at his list as well, because I do think it's worth kind of exploring different options. This is just a little bit more focused on like the more mono green style builds. So it was fun, wasn't very good, but it was a blast to play. thank you guys so much for watching. Do check out our Patreon. Again, we've got new rewards up for the month of November. They started today. If you are interested, we would really appreciate it. And thank you guys so much again. I really can't thank you enough for all of the support you guys have shown both John and I on the channel as a whole. We really love you guys. I'll see you guys tomorrow.